Hi, it's T Hill again. Topic of the day, or topic of the show for today, magic sauce. What does it take for devs to really get it right? So, that's the topic. It's going to be about how to make the perfect game for devs to hit that target audience. Before I get into that, just want to let you know I went ahead and bought Castle Crashers for the PSN, played it for a little bit, loved it. I'm going to hopefully finish it by this weekend so that way I can post up a review. Stupid hat. I'll hopefully have it up by probably no later than Sunday. So checked it out. It's really cool. If you haven't bought it, go ahead, check it out. It's a great game. I've been personally waiting for a while for it to hit PSN. Another thing, I downloaded the demo for Vanquish. Shinji Mikami, awesome game. Every video I saw didn't even give it credit. It's just so amazing. The movement, the animations, the fluidity. You really can't describe it until you play it. It's taking third-person shooters to a new level. And, you know, I talked about this on a previous video about Eastern developers taking a genre that's really popular in the West and doing it one better. He's got the recipe. Shinji's got the recipe. I don't know how close the demo's graphics are to the final version, but it looked beautiful. Not quite on the Uncharted level, Uncharted 2 level, but it looks beautiful. So, that being said, that's going to be a day one. Move back into the topic. So, what does it take for developers to make perfect games? And some people are going to say, oh, there's no way you can make a perfect game. Not true. We've seen games that are super close, and they're always missing something. And when you think about it, it's always something. You look back and you're like, why didn't it have this? Well, those are the type of things I want to list about here on my. Just at least these are my thoughts on it. What the developers need, and I'll try to cite some games as examples, but I'll go through the top staples, which if you want to even be in the AAA league and you want to be even considered for a perfect game, you have to have these right first. Alright? Graphics. Graphics is a staple. It's one of the top things that has to be there. It doesn't have to be the best of the best graphics, because best graphics doesn't mean it's the best game, but it has to be in the top tier. It can't be competing against an Uncharted 2 or God of War or Killzone or any of the top tier games. It's not even in the running if it doesn't have that. Strong controls. It has to feel natural. You could have a high learning curve, but it has to. Anyone should be able to pick up the game and just start playing. I like how Bayonetta took an approach, and how Devil May Cry, I believe it was 4, took their approach, where you can have an auto mode for people who don't want to get deep into the game. They don't want to know, for the gamers that don't want to have a super in-depth knowledge of the game. They just want to be able to pick it up and play. That's cool, but you need to also have a lot of control. The Ninja Gaidens, the Bayonettas, the Devil May Cry shows that there's a huge market for those type of games. So I'm using a hack and slash architecture for this argument. I mean, you can apply some of these rules to other genres as well, but I'm going to use hack and slash mainly because that's my bread and butter. Well, so you got to have strong controls. Powerful story. Powerful story. If the story's lame, you're not going to get as many sales. People are always going to say, well, this game, it may not have had strong controls, as strong as controls, but the story just destroyed it. You got to have a really good story. Excuse me, I just finished eating. Relatable characters. They got to be believable. If I can't see them coming to life, then you're going to have some trouble. There's a lot of characters that fall flat, and the game suffers from it because everything else starts to fall flat if you can't develop a good, believable character. So those are the main staples from what I've seen for any game. Now I'm going to go into my personal ingredients for the magic sauce for a game. And I think some game companies like Rockstar have figured this out. It looks like Shinji Mikami and the folks over at Platinum Games have figured it out, or they're getting really close. Naughty Dog is really close. Guerrilla Games is getting close. Um, the folks over at BioWare are getting really close. So I'm gonna go into my lists. First one, most important thing for me, replayability. Once the game's over, it shouldn't be over. I remember back in the days where there was like New Game Plus. You could take all those features and go back to the very beginning and keep them and be able to play through the game again, but it was on a harder difficulty. So even though you have all those things, it means a lot less now because everything's either tougher, there's newer enemies, things are slightly different, and it makes it push your challenge, but yet you don't feel like you're starting from scratch. Bonus content that goes along with that replayability. If there's like a really cool, like say an alternate character, but you have to spend like 30 hours to get that character. If you get him, he better control completely different, and he better be really cool, because no one likes putting in all that time to get a skin. I mean, it's fun at first. It has a novelty experience. Wears off fast. It has to be worth any of the prizes or rewards for putting all that should be equal the effort that's put into them. Replayability is huge. It will determine whether people kick off your game back to the store within a couple weeks after beating it, or whether they're going to hold on to that game and it's going to sit in their collection. Another one, immersion. This encompasses everything in the world, whether it's weather, destructibility, just the whole ambience and the atmosphere of the world that the characters are in. Wind blowing, you see the grass kind of sway with it. Petals or leaves. I'm just using examples so you have an idea of the picture I'm trying to paint for you. That kind of, I think Killzone really set the immersion level of the game to a bar beyond what we've seen. I mean, there's other good games, but 9 times out of 10, the environment feels kind of static. I think Uncharted and Killzone and God of War are really taking that whole static environment and changing it, and that's a big thing. It captures in the world, makes it feel like everything's moving. It's alive. Another one, whatever features you put in a game, commit to them from day one. Don't put them in halfway through the game or towards the end of the game because an executive of your company says, hey, I need to get this checkbox. I need to have co-op or multiplayer or this kind of thing. All those features should be day one, because when the fans find out about it, check the forums, you'll get it consistent. Games don't need this feature. Games don't need this. They don't need that. They don't like feeling like something was potentially tacked on. So whatever feature you're going to add in, put it in from day one, so that way by the end of the game, by the end of the development cycle, it's fully fleshed out and it feels like it was intended and it's believable in the scenario. Nothing's hacked on. Immediate gratification is another thing. And this could have something to do with the fact that I'm a Western gamer, but I like to be able to press a button and have, bam, immediate gratification. Hitting a reaction from the character. The animation needs to look really nice. It just needs to happen. I don't want to see, okay, I press a button, okay, now the character goes into this animation cycle, and then they attack, and then they go back into their initial position, and then it's too much waiting. You're competing for my time. You're competing for many gamers' times. So I don't want to waste. If I'm a working male, I've got a limited amount of time in my day. I want to get as much excitement out of that time I'm playing my game. I just picked up a perfect example, Shank. It was awesome. The controls, if you see my review, check it out. But bam, bam, bam. It just felt like it was worth it. It's immediate gratification. Next one, variety, and this goes into the pacing of the game. Switch it up on the gamer all the time. We get bored easily. We got, like I said, a limited amount of time. We want to be as excited. We want to feel like we're on a roller coaster ride. You got to grab us from go. It's got to be wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, all the way through. I'll cite one of my favorite games. I might get poo-pooed on, so what? I love the game. I love the art style, so you can't knock me for it. It's my own opinion. But Darksiders, it's a multi-plat. I know I'm typically not a big fan, but I like it takes some prime examples of what to do right in game, and it has its faults. It does. Don't think it. I think it's perfect. I'm a big fan of the artist, but it was always switching up on you. I never felt like, oh God, I'm just hacking and slashing my whole way through this game. No, it always switched it up on you, and that was nice. You don't see that often in games. I mean, if it's a shooting game, okay, you may get a different gun, but it's still shooting. That doesn't switch up. That doesn't change. Things like Uncharted, where I'll use Uncharted 2. The train scene, that's a big difference. That's hugely different than what you normally expect. Switching from a cover base to being able to go to melee, that's why you should check out Vanquish. It switches up, and you have control over switching up, which is going to go into my next point. Control. Gamers want control. You can look at how popular sandbox games are. You can look at how popular like Mass Effect series is. The infamous new IPs, or anything that gives the player control. RPGs are good because there's all those little knobs in the background that the gamer can tweak, but RPGs have, or at least Eastern RPGs have a fault in the concept. We want control, we want immediate gratification, and they go hand in hand. You gotta have both. That's what's really you're gonna hit everyone. You have those things, all those things I just talked about, all those features, if you put those on the back of the checkbox and say, I got those features, other than I got multiplayer co-op, I guarantee you're going to get closer to a perfect game, because you're hitting what gamers want. What's going to keep me and other gamers like me hooked to our console. Every chance we get free, and those are the features you need to get that to happen. Well, you heard my opinion. You know what I think now. Leave your comments. This is T Hill. Peace.